Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. You know, it's a little bit of an indictment, if you like, on modern society that I feel it's necessary to make this video. Because at one time, the thing I'm going to comment on would have been entirely unremarkable. A professional athlete speaking with the greatest possible respect for a previous opponent, speaking with respect for all other members of the profession, speaking with a degree of insight and self-awareness, being a little bit self-deprecating, and just generally coming across as a real nice, likable athlete who's just about doing their business. No trash talk, no nothing. Just a real nice bloke. And the fellow I'm talking about, of course, is Dave Allen, who was interviewed yesterday on the UK show Talksport by Gareth A. Davis and Adam Catterall. And they covered a variety of topics. I'll just, touch on them here. The first thing that Dave Allen was really asked on and sort of pressed on, if you like, was whether or not he thought he beat Johnny Fisher. Now, this should not be a controversial issue. I think most of us agree that the judges got it wrong in the Dave Allen-Johnny Fisher fight, and that Dave Allen, who of course dropped Johnny Fisher, was the clear winner. But he didn't get the decision. And unlike many people, most noticeably somebody who recently retired, who's been gobbing off about Dick Turpin wearing a mask and robberies, etc., so forth, Dave Allen said something along the lines of, yeah, I think I won, but the judge's decision was the judge's decision. It's in the past now. There's nothing you can really do about it. And that reminded me so much of boxers that I sort of grew up watching. You never heard people like Henry Cooper screaming and shouting about a decision, or it just never happened. People were just respectful and accepting. And in fact, at one time, if you took issue with a judge or an umpire or a referee, you were perceived as being a bit of a crybaby, and generally speaking, you were not favored. Anyhow, Johnny Fisher was, in my view, clearly beat by Dave Allen, and Dave Allen had agreed that he felt that he won the fight, but it was sort of almost like a, oh well, ho-hum, that's the way it was. And I thought, again, very respectful, very classy. He was then asked about the rematch with Fisher, and it was pointed out to him that this is probably the biggest fight that he's got ahead of him. Certainly would be a huge payday. There was talk about, this headlining at the Copper Box or maybe at the O2. And I'm not sure what Dave Allen's purses have been in the past, but a rematch with Johnny Fisher would probably mean life-changing amounts of money. And Johnny Fisher surprisingly said, I'm ready to fight anybody. But he sounded, what's the right word, like protective of Johnny Fisher. He said something like, I'm not going, excuse me, I grab my notes here, oops. I'm not going to push this young kid into a fight he doesn't want. I mean, he sounded almost like Johnny Fisher's manager, not a prospective opponent. And he spoke in very respectful and pleasant terms about Johnny Fisher, what a nice kid he was. He said that, at the stage that Johnny Fisher is today, there's levels between he, Dave Allen, and Johnny Fisher. And he didn't think it would be good for Johnny Fisher to fight him again. In fact, he did say that if Johnny Fisher is sort of pushed into a rematch would be over in double quick time. Dave Allen was saying that, this camp that he went through for the fight was like the first time he'd really done a proper camp in like 5 years. And now he's been back in the gym over Christmas and the New Year, and he's going to be even better than he was. And so again, to speak in such terms about an opponent, you can easily imagine a different heavyweight fighter who felt that he'd been robbed, screaming and shouting, demanding, I want this, you've robbed me. Oh, that sounds reminiscent of somebody who quit against Alexander Usyk, doesn't it? Anyhow, yeah, Johnny Fisher was. Dave Allen was very respectful about Johnny Fisher, and like I say, almost sort of protective about him. He did speak about where he sees himself as well. And he spoke, for example, about Moses Otama, who he's said before he would have no interest in fighting. He rates Otama as being somebody who's on a trajectory that's entirely different to his. Almost that self-deprecating kind of language used. And it struck me as this is a man who knows his limitations. He knows where he fits in the pecking order, the hierarchy, and he's not trying to BS us into thinking that he's something that he isn't. Again, this used to be entirely normal and unremarkable, but today it's quite distinct from what you see other fighters saying. And it was really refreshing for me, and I'm like, wow, this guy appeals to me. When he was asked about his goals, he said that the British title is really what he's aiming for, and that if Fabio Wardley should vacate, then he would like to, compete for that. And so I wish him all the best. I think a British title is within his ability. Would he and say David Adelaide make a good fight? I think so. But yeah, I encourage you to go and check out this interview, and maybe we should all sort of get behind Dave Allen and cheer him on, because in many respects he struck me as a real throwback to a kinder, nicer time where discourse between athletes had less effing and blinding and more just mutual respect from athlete to athlete. Please let me know what you think. Please like this video if indeed you do. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more. And wherever you are, have an awesome day. Cheers. Thank you.